Hi, I'm Maddi Penn from the Canberra Nationals, and this is my mental health round story. Yeah, it's really important. I've had my own journey with mental ill health, and so have so many people around me in the basketball community or whatever other community I've been a part of. So it's become more apparent. Obviously, as you grow up, you learn a bit more, and you are surrounded by people who are different or people who are going different things. So yeah, it's probably more of a important week or round for me, as I guess I've had my own journey with that kind of stuff. It's such an interesting story for me now to look back on, one that I look back on, I guess, fondly in an odd way. I was fortunate enough to, as a younger kid, first move to Canberra to go to the AIS, and then straight after that I went to college at Virginia Tech, which is a huge opportunity for me, and it was something I was a little bit reluctant to engage in, so I wasn't really excited about the whole thing, but I got there and I ended up really liking it. However, I think, like a ton of bricks, and just out of nowhere, I became really unwell with, I guess, signs of having clinical depression, and I didn't know any of this before as a young kid. I was always pretty happy-go-lucky. I did 100 sports a day. My parents are fantastic and still are. But yeah, I think there were some really low times, and yeah, I had to come home, unfortunately, about a year and a half into my college career due to, I guess, being at the lowest point of my life. So it got really scary for a while there. But looking back on it, it's something that I recall fondly in an odd way. But yeah, it's definitely not a very happy time in my life. I think getting to know yourself is like one of the main aspects of improving your mental well-being. So learning what affects you or what triggers you, but also knowing your value system. So knowing what is important to you. And that's, I guess, a broad answer to your question. Sorry, but how old am I now? 30. So when I first came back from America, I was 19, and I engaged with a psychologist who I still have a relationship with today. Yep. So I've known this person for 10 years. So I think breaking through that barrier of like the shame and the taboo of going to see a mental health professional is one of the most beneficial things you can do. So yeah, accessing support and health in that way, or health support in that way. And then, yeah, so like I was saying before, like knowing your value system. So what's important to you, and then I guess working towards or creating goals is another one, a strategy that I would use to like chip away at things or the person you want to be. Yeah, I think it's like highly individualized. However, like some people are naturally more driven to have like success criteria. You want to tick off things and work towards goals, whereas other people are just work in different ways. So it's the classic case of people don't want to go see a psychologist because they'll just say, oh, you need to do meditation. However, that does work for some people. So it's like finding what works for you and actually sticking with that for as long as you can, until you can either make a no or a yes judgment on that. Yeah, and I think highly individualized, there are so many strategies that I've picked and chosen over the years. Now I'm obsessed with like just appreciating nature, or something as simple as that. And I guess like arts and culture is something that I value. So that's another way of appreciating what we have like on this earth. So I think gratitude journals are super vogue right now. That's really good. That works for me as well. But yeah, like finding something that works for you. That's a intricate question, I think. As a younger like child or 19-year-old, the support was more, especially coming from like a sporting background, it's very conventional to, oh, you'll be right, this is just part of it, just show more resilience. Now it's an acknowledgement of, okay, well, you've been diagnosed with anxiety, depression, a mood disorder, which is what I have, and it's, I guess, a two-way communication between myself telling mum, for example, like, oh, this is what I need, and mum kind of working within those parameters, and and the relationship changes in that people around you or in your circle grow with you, and they understand what works for you and how you operate a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah, I think sometimes it is, it's, again, individualised. Sometimes people don't like when others who don't suffer from mental ill health try and be overbearing with their help. Some people don't mind it. It's, again, figuring out how you operate in that zone. So I haven't had any, I guess, obviously I communicate my boundaries, and as I grow up and mature, I'm better at doing that with people that I don't know. But it's not luckily for me, it's not something that affects me obviously in every day. So it's more of like an internalized, I guess, thing for me. So I don't have to really communicate it that much with other people I don't know. That's actually really cool because I've only just figured that out. It's when I was younger and more juvenile in this illness or this space, there was kind of comfort in just doing nothing, and now it's, you understand, or I understand how lucky I am to live the life I live and how beautiful life can be. So every time I start to feel a bit of, oh, that's old Maddie feeling coming on, for me it's kind of like I'm able to snap myself out of that and either choose option A, B or C. So whether that be change the environment I'm in, like go for a walk or take a day off work, or call mum. So it's, I think for me, I've been really fortunate that I've always liked learning, and I like learning how to be better each time. So every time I have, say, I feel like it happens maybe like 2 times a year where I have a really bad episode, or I'm feeling really low. As I've grown up, I'm getting 10% better every time, which is really exciting in itself. It's like a mini challenge, which is like the competitive side of me coming out. So for example, last year I was in a really low spot for, I'd say, just a month, and I was aware of those feelings coming on, and breaking out of those was almost like a mini challenge for me, like I said. So I think being aware of those warning signs. If you're kind of more leaning towards the depression side, I know for me I'm like on a seesaw, so it's depression or anxiety. If you're kind of leaning towards like the depression side, for me, for example, I acknowledge those signs and then try and just like work my way out of it as quickly as possible. I think for people who have never felt like that before, it's quite daunting. It's really scary. I think accessing, going to your GP and getting a mental health care plan, whether you think you need it or not, it's really fantastic in like catalyzing that process of going and accessing a psychologist or whatever. It's really important, and it's not as scary as people think. And while it is expensive, we do have the support, and there is support out there for people who can't access it as much. And then for people who are already kind of on that train, it's, I guess, giving yourself that kick in the butt to, like, I don't know, just pull yourself out of it and go and do those little things that you know you need to do. Yeah. I was thinking about this on the way here, and I'm trying to articulate it, but I'm a bit into, I've always been really into music, and I'm not that person that listens to the beat or the sound of it. I listen to the lyrics. One of those weird people. And there are a few songs that I've had with me in my back pocket for most of my time, since, like, I don't know, 18, 19-year-old, that I kind of use as like a mantra. So I've got 2 of those songs just printed out, just stuck on my wall at home. There's a Leonard Cohen song called Anthem, and the lyrics are along the lines of, there's a crack in everything, that's how the light gets in. For me, that reminds me that despite whatever hole or whatever darkness you see yourself in at that time, there is those little glimmers of hope that you can find. And I really love that lyric. And yeah, so that's kind of like a mantra that I use. I think that's super helpful for me. to think it and then to see it because it's stuck up on my wall, and then for me to act on it. So go for a walk in nature or play with my dog or play with my cat and actually appreciate what we have because we're super lucky. Yeah.